Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Alta Auto Group, and behind me is the 2022 BMW M5 CS. So massive shout out to them for providing this limited production sedan for me today. Definitely check out their website. They have a ton of awesome pre-owned inventory. That link is down in the description. The model that you see behind me is finished off in frozen deep green metallic with a list price just over $187,000. And to start off today's review, we're going to take a look at what powers this M5. Underneath the hood is the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 paired to the 8-speed M Sport automatic transmission. It pumps out 627 horsepower, around 6,000 RPM, and 553 pound-feet of torque as low as 1,800 RPM. That power sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system. This weighs in right around 4,000 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in as quick as 2.6 seconds, up to its top speed of 190 miles an hour, and it has a fuel capacity of 20.1 gallons. You'll expect the fuel economy to be around 15 miles per gallon in the city and 21 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 117.4 inches. Its overall length is 196.4. It has a width of 74.9 and a height of 57.8 inches. As we move on now to the exterior styling for this M5 CS, let's first start off with this color combo. This deep frozen green with all of the bronze gold accents is a really cool combo for this model. Now this also has a lot of carbon fiber. It weighs in right around 230 pounds less than the regular M5. And starting up front with carbon fiber is the entire hood. There's even carbon fiber trim pieces on both sides with the functional heat extraction vents. Really nice lines running down the hood as well. And there's even more carbon fiber for the lower splitter. This BMW has a really nice design. We have the brushed gold surrounding the kidney design for the grille with plenty of cutouts to that twin turbo V8 engine. M5 CS is over on that driver's side. This even has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. Classic for BMW, of course. They have a really nice DRL design with the headlights and the high beams just above that. And there's also plenty of cutouts in the lower section to provide even more cooling to all the front components, as well as parking sensors. There's some gloss black trim pieces on both sides just to tie it in nicely. Gives it a really clean look for this luxury sedan. And as we move on to the side profile now, more of that brushed gold surrounds the 20-inch wheels. And this model has the standard brakes. The calipers will be red or black. However, you can opt for the carbon ceramics, which will have a gold caliper to match the wheel really nicely. The M5 CS badge is just behind that with more gold and gloss black, along with that being a functional trim piece. This has carbon fiber mirror caps with the integrated turn signal, even a full carbon fiber roof. There's gloss black surrounding all of the window trim. Really nice line comes off that trim piece at the height of the door handles, and there's also more lines in the lower side skirt. Gives it a really nice side design. And then last up in the rear for this CS is the carbon fiber trunk mounted wing. Really nice aggressive lines to it. This has a backup camera with all the parking sensors. There's gloss black and even more carbon fiber in that lower diffuser. And then the quad tip dual exhaust on both sides. This also has LED taillights. I love the dark housings. Just matches nicely with this exterior color. So with the exterior wrapped up for this M5 CS, let's move on to the rear cargo. I'm just gonna use the button up underneath. And there's a lot of space. This is a family sedan, even though it has a lot of performance. Plenty of room for all the items that need to go back here. There's a little bit of a cubby over on the passenger side and some access to battery components over on that driver's side. Now these back seats do not fold down, but there is plenty of space. And then there's also some tie-down hooks so you can safely secure items in the back if you'd like to. Now this doesn't have a power-operated trunk. However, you can still lock the vehicle if you'd like to. From there, we can gently close this trunk lid. And now let's go ahead and make our way to these back seats, where this has a really nice surprise, as you'll see here just in a second. But the door panel on the CS is covered in black leather with red stitching. This even has the interior ambient lighting strip, a carbon fiber-like trim behind the brushed aluminum release handle. There's some gloss black just underneath that. This even has the Harman Kardon sound system with that speaker cover finished off in brushed aluminum. A good amount of storage space down in the lower section of the door. And then the M badge is down on the door sill. It is an illuminating badge, so really nice to see that. And then the biggest difference between this and the normal M5 is we have bucket seats for the backseat passengers. This is a 4-seater vehicle instead of a 5-seater. But I love the two-tone design with all the red, the black. There's even Alcantara on the inserts. More of the red running down the inserts, even the BMW colors up near the headrest. And this even has the Nürburgring logo up in the top of all of the headrest, which is a cool Easter egg to see. And as you can tell from the front seats, the carbon fiber on the back with all of those cutouts. These are going to be really cool to sit in. As we hop in this now at 5'10", I have plenty of room. I can sink my way over the side bolstering of these seats, and with the front seat set at my height, plenty of room for my feet and my legs. And surprisingly, I have around 2 or 3 inches above my head. This would be incredibly fun to be out on the track, some back mountain roads, and for your backseat passengers, you have some good support, which is really cool to see. Right in the middle is the CS badge. There's a little bit of storage in the middle, and you still have some creature comforts for your backseat passengers. We have the fan speed right in the middle, along with the temperature controls, where you'd like the air to go. A little bit of storage space, actually a good amount. You could place your phone down there if needed. There's a 12 volt and 2 USB-Cs, so that way you can charge electronics. Pretty cool to see. This even has an Alcantara headliner. The dome lights are right in the middle. And you have a good amount of visibility for your backseat passengers, even more Alcantara on that rear deck lid. And then before we move on to the front seats, as I climb out of the buckets for your rear seat passengers, this does have remote start. So if I triple tap on the lock button, this will automatically start up. And it sounds really good. We're going to get some exhaust revs here in just a little bit. Now, if I triple tap on that button, you can shut this off for whatever reason if you'd like to. Now, you can also use the door handles to lock and unlock this vehicle. And with the power folding mirrors, currently they are folded in. If we unlock it, they will obviously lock out. And then the door panel has a really nice design to it, same as the rear, of course. However, there is the addition of the memory seating adjustments. The Harman Kardon sound system is up top, as well as one speaker down below. This has a trunk release, a little bit more storage space, really nice design. The front door sill has the addition of CS, so all of that is an ambient light, of course. And now moving on to the front bucket seats, which have a little bit more aggressive of a design. Same Nürburgring logos up in the headrest, more cutouts with the M5 badge. Really, really nice addition to see. Now, these are power adjusting seats. They're even heated as well. Really cool factory bucket seat with a lot of creature comforts. Now, making our way into the front seats, it's not all that hard. We do have this lip right here that you do have to kind of wiggle over, but once you're in, very comfortable seat, as you'll see once I get this out on the road. Now, the steering wheel is completely covered in Alcantara with the BMW colors, even a perforated stripe right in the middle. There's the M1 and the M2 buttons on both sides, carbon fiber for the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. But let's go ahead and fire this back up. With my foot on the brake, that button is over on that right side, and we can bring this back to life. And then coming back to this digital gauge cluster, on the left side is the fuel gauge and the miles per hour. On the right side is the tach and the engine temperature. Currently, the navigation is right in the middle, and then over within the tach is park. Now, you can adjust what you'd like to see by using that button on the top section of the turn signal stock. So if I push on it once, there's a live readout for MPG. There's also some more data information to look at, as well as the tire pressure and the temperature of the tires. You can monitor your PSI as well as the engine temperature. There's even live readouts for horsepower and torque. So if I give the vehicle some gas, you can see those adjust. You can also pull up the G-force meter, look at the radio when that is on. There's the different driving modes as well to see what the vehicle is currently set to, and then we're back to park. So it's not really configurable, but there's everything that you need with that large gauge cluster. Really nice to have that. Over on the right side of the steering wheel is volume and tuning for the radio, as well as Bluetooth and voice commands. This middle button here is actually for the radio. So on the heads-up display, I can go between Sirius, FM, and AM, so you can monitor all of that. Over on this left side is all the cruise control settings. There's even an M badge down below and some more black chrome. Now, over on the left side of the steering wheel is all the headlight adjustments and parking lights. There's even more of that interior ambient lighting, some of that carbon fiber-like trim. The entire dash is covered in leather with some silver stitching, gives it a really nice contrast. And then right in the middle, we have this large touchscreen system, plenty of information to go through. On this home screen, if I swipe over, we can go through setup, engine data, there's the tire pressure, some of the same information you saw on that center gauge cluster, even looking at the traffic and the compass. Over on the left side, this is all fixed information, so you can get to your media, go into your phone when you have that hooked up and paired. There's the navigation, so you can go through all that information. And then if you go into car, there's vehicle status to look at. We can go into the M menu. When you go into that, you can can configure M1 and M2. So basically going into M2 right now, it's configured for everything to be in Sport Plus. We have the 4-wheel drive Sport, the DSC is off, you can even do the sound control on, we have the engine start stop feature off at the moment. So it's a really nice shortcut. You just push on that button and you're ready to go depending on how you like to drive. And back in car, we have vehicle status, so you can monitor some of that information. You can also use a rotary dial down below to go through this information as well. Going into driver profiles, you can set that up as needed. You can look at your owner's manual as well. Really helpful to have that amount of information. And this even has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, along with a few other apps, just depending on what you'd like to use the most. So really convenient to have that. Along with the rotary dial are shortcuts to map and navigation, along with menu, media, and phone. There's a back and option button just behind that. There's another interior ambient lighting strip running just underneath that, even with a CS logo and this carbon fiber-like trim. Really great to see. There's 2 air vents right in the middle, as well as a shortcut to the intelligent safety. So basically you can configure the forward collision, the lane departure, and the active blind spot. Really quick to get to that. All of the presets are down below, and if I just hover my finger, you can see what it's going to go to before you click on it. Power and volume for the radio is on this left side, tuning is over on the right side. And then below that, we have another digital screen for all of the climates. So right now I just adjusted the fan speed on the driver's side. There's fan speed for the passenger side. These dials will easily control the temperature. And like I mentioned earlier, there are heated seats, which can easily be controlled. And then if I click on menu, it will actually pop up in the upper screen where you can further adjust all of that information as needed. There's where you like the air to go on both sides, as well as being able to sync these, and a few other AC controls on each side as well. And then moving below that, this even has a wireless charging pad along with a USB, 2 cup holders, and a 12 volt. And I can easily close this up with more of that carbon fiber-like trim. There's leather and stitching on both sides as well, tying it in very nicely. And then moving on to the shifter, in order to put this vehicle into reverse, I'll push this to the left and up 1. It will hold, obviously. We have the backup camera along with the guidelines over on that right side. To go into drive, we'll go back into the center location, pop it over once. That is for drive. You can use that to go into the sport mode as well, which allows you to use these paddle shifters. And then park is on the back side. So obviously just pushing on the P, it will automatically do that. And you can also adjust how quickly you'd like this transmission to shift by using these controls here. There are 3 different settings. On this left side is traction control as well as a setup button. There's even M mode. If I push on that, the entire gauge cluster will change. So this is the normal view that you saw earlier. Pushing on M mode, now we have the tack on both sides with what gear you're in, front and center. We also have the exhaust note button as well as the parking sensors. The electronic parking brake and auto hold is right in the middle. And then for this center armrest, this is all that you get. We have leather and stitching. There is no compartment up underneath, so there is no center storage space. However, there is a glove box, so we have all that room for any of that information you'd like to put over there. We'll take one last look at this beautiful interior. All of these materials are very premium feeling. Alcantara is even on the sun visors, and if I open this up, they have a good amount of blockage for them. The dome lights and a call button are right in the middle, and then obviously we have the rear view mirror. And so now getting this 2022 BMW M5 CS out on the road, huge thanks again to Alta Auto Group, because this is a very limited production model. I believe there's right around 250 of these being made, so they are very limited for the entire world. Huge shout out to them for letting me check this out and experience what it's like and share it with all of you. Now, I've had a lot of seat time behind the wheel of the M5. I've had a lot of seat time in the M4 competition as well, and the one that we were able to have for the week had these seats. And I gotta say, this is one of the best factory bucket seat options that I've been able to sit in. I think they're really comfortable. Like I said, we had that for a week, did a lot of highway driving, and it is so cool. They are definitely worth it. And the fact that now they're available in the M5 for the CS model, you get them for your backseat passengers. I mean, how cool is that? You could take this to the track, take it to the mountains. Your backseat passengers will be nice and secure in those bucket seats. It gives us a really, really cool interior vibe, very race focused, especially having this Nürburgring logo up in the headrest for all 4 seats. I think that is so cool. Now, I've had this in normal auto mode for right now. We'll pop it into M2. We have the exhaust note there. We have the paddle shifters. We'll put it in M mode as well so we can see that front and center. Now, this has some miles on it, so it's broken in, but I can't do anything too crazy today. I love the fact, too, that the heads-up display actually changes. So now we have the tack front and center, along with your speed and what gear you're in. if you want to see us ripping on the M4, which is very similar to this, check out those videos down below. It is so smooth. And now I haven't seen, we have the transmission in the quickest shifting mode. I've mentioned this in other videos. I'm not sure why you would want to adjust that. But just with not even a half throttle, this is a quick car. Like I mentioned earlier, 0 to 60 is in the mid 2-second range. With this xDrive all-wheel drive system, this is a beast of a car. I can see this being so track focused with everything that it has to offer, the performance, the handling. The M4 competition that we drove handled amazing on the mountain roads that we were able to throw at it. So I couldn't imagine taking a four-door version, basically, in a sense, around some of those tight turns. Oh man. I will say it's kind of funny, moving on to some of those comforts, is the fact that this does have power and heated seats. For a vehicle that shaved 230 pounds, it's interesting that they kept the heated seat option and the AC, but obviously when you're driving this every day, those are things that you want, but you still want to take this on some performance driving roads. So it's great that they took away some weight and they still retain some of the benefits that you'd like to see in a daily driver. You could absolutely 100% daily drive the M5 CS. And if you're buying this car, I don't see why you wouldn't. This is a sweet vehicle. I would be in this every single day. It is very smooth, even in the M2 button where I have everything set into the sport suspension, sport diff, everything like that. It's very composed. Really no wind noise, no road noise, and it handles so well for the turns that I can do in today's video. And then as we switch over to the POV angle for the M5, we'll take a quick look at visibility as well as looking at this interior again. Really easy to see over that right shoulder. Same with the left shoulder. This is a thin pillar, as I can see that car coming right now. So very open for a daily driver. It's going to be what you would expect, especially for the M5. Woohoo. Mild acceleration. This is so quick. Very, very smooth in those shifts, even with the quickest transmission setting there. I love the feel of this Alcantara steering wheel. Gives it a really nice design. This is so much fun to drive. From this angle, you can also get a look at this interior again. I love that screen down below. Very crystal clear, easy to be able to adjust everything. And then when you're ready, hopefully the camera can pick up the heads-up display. You can pop everything into that performance driving mode and really have some fun. These paddles are incredibly quick as well. As soon as you tap them, you are in that next gear. But unfortunately, I think that's going to wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive, getting behind the wheel of the 2022 BMW M5 CS. Once again, massive shout out to Alta Auto Group. Check out their website. That info is down in the description. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.